I wanted to just briefly introduce myself. I'm Lisa McMichael. Along with KT, we're both part of Perficient. My area is digital accessibility. I'm senior manager in that practice, and just excited to be able to talk about accessibility, but also in the framework, KT, with your area of expertise, which is automotive. I think, too, something else that's kind of interesting to me is how this market can be a source of innovation. I was doing a little bit of backstory research. You may be familiar with this engineer, Ralph Tector, or something like that. He was with, I believe, GM back in the 50s, and he's blind engineer and helped them create cruise control. And so it's, to borrow an idea from Microsoft, design for one, benefit many or everyone. That's a solution, much like curb cuts, that it was intended for, kind of a narrow consumer market. But then we found all these other user stories, as I call them, in which so many more people could participate and enjoy that benefit. In this case, cruise control. I thought that was really fascinating. Do you see designing for people and their diverse abilities as a source of innovation? Are you witnessing some things that you find interesting in that space?
I am. I mean, and I first off, that gentleman is a hero, right? I mean, he coming up with something like that, that everybody can use and enjoy, is incredible. So, really, I think you said it. You hit the nail on the head. Inclusion is really important. These automakers, originally they cut their mindset, the heritage OEMs, and these are lives. All of them are important. There's nobody that's more important than anyone else. But it's being able to serve that consumer where they are, not in just the shopping process, but in the life process, right? And so that's why this accessibility and we're talking about inclusion is so important to companies. And the most successful companies will be able to be really inclusive with everybody, right? It's a big ship. Anybody can get on it. And at the same time, being able to give them great experiences no matter what the situation with that consumer is. And I think that's what they're striving for today. We have at Perficient, a lot of business around customer experiences, right? And I think accessibility to me is one of those experiences. I mean, it's an enhancer to any customer experience.
Yeah. And when thinking about the consumer experience, with automobiles, it often starts or at least my generation, it was something we look forward to when we got that driver's license, right? I mean, we couldn't wait to get past the permit stage and move on to getting that license and getting out on the road by ourselves, right? And in many cases, you're going to be an automobile consumer, maybe well into your 80s. People are living longer, healthier lives. The baby boomers have a lot of money to spend. They're a wealthy cohort. So I think automobile makers and thinkers are looking at both ends of the spectrum. What are the younger generation, the Gen Zs and millennials? Do they want to be tethered to an auto payment, or do they just want to be tethered to mobility? And so I think about the life stages of a person as, if you live long enough, you're going to have some form of, in air quotes, disability. But what is powerful is how focusing on the consumer experience and their need for independence, and the fact that their needs will change, maybe not permanently, but maybe for a period of time. How can we drive solutions to them almost in an a la carte fashion? At this stage of my life, I need this adaptation, but I won't need it 2 years from now. Or I'm a younger person and I injured my arm, so I can only really, that goes back to the cruise control and more voice-activated solutions. Are you seeing that nexus between life stages and the automobile consumer and what he or she needs and wants? And what does the future look like, for a person who might have different kinds of abilities at different stages?
Yeah. I mean, I think, Lisa, it's almost, if we take even a step back from that, it's really about consumer preferences, right? And so what's driving a lot of what's happening in the automotive industry, and right now we're going through, in my opinion, one of the most exciting times, since the assembly line, because literally there's so much change, and that change is being driven, so a lot of it is by consumers, their preferences. So when you think about it, like their preferences for sustainability and to save the planet, okay, EVs kind of match up with that, right? They want to do more online because they don't want to be in a dealership for 4 or 5 hours. Not that they dislike dealerships, it's just like they're busy and they want to spend their time efficiently, and they're used to buying and transacting online. So commerce is becoming an issue. Your accessibility fits right into that, right? I mean, in terms of the customer experience and what they want. So I think that what we're seeing more, loyalty, Lisa, is so different than it used to be. Loyalty was about points, right? And I would shop at a particular store or location and get points. Today, it's all about membership, right? It's all about being able to impact that brand, being able to have a say in what's happening with that brand. That's loyalty today. And so what you're talking about, so important. It's not going away. I actually think we're only at the very beginning of this, and our consumers are, by 2030, half of the automobile shoppers are going to be millennials, and they have expectations and preferences. And to your point, as they move to different life stages, they're going to probably have accessibility needs and things. I notice it. I need glasses when I read, up close, and reading glasses and things like that. It's normal, right? Most of us do. And at the same time, I think being able to keep up with those life stages and understanding, hey, this is a consumer that needs this is a consumer that needs that.